Yep. Okay. Awesome. So basically inside of this here, one of the main things to understand with Azure Sentinel, and I think why it's so cool and why it's awesome in my opinion, is it's a SIEM that covers all of your cloud applications, but also all of your physical endpoints, which I think is really cool. And we were just talking, just kind of a use case scenario to a couple of hospitals back east, and some of these hospitals had over 4,000 endpoints, which needed to be protected. And we talked to them about it, and we're like, yeah, well, Sentinel's great because you can do the cloud, and then also what it uses is artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms to actually create and monitor, what's going on in your security and provide you suggestions. So you really have something that using the artificial intelligence, the AI and the ML, you can really do a lot of really great things. So the first thing I want to show you here is just the main dashboard that we actually see when we get into Sentinel. Okay, so when we're in here on the left-hand side, we have threat management and we have configuration, but on the top here, you have the number of events, right? The alerts, the incidents, and you can kind of see over here, just a nice overall dashboard, that's what's going on, okay? So that's really kind of cool in that respect. But what I want to actually move into right now is actually data connectors, okay? Because one of the things that Azure Sentinel has is a comprehensive log collection capability, right? And they've actually created a bunch of different data connectors for you. So when you turn on Azure Sentinel, you can do it right now. It doesn't cost you anything to do it, right, inside your Azure. But what you need to do is actually set up all of your, you need to set up your, what are you going to connect to, right? So for example, you can connect to almost anything really these days. The connectors enable log collection from everything from AWS, CloudTrail to Palo Alto devices, right? But the first one I'm going to look at here is the Azure Active Directory. So I'm going to scroll down and then I'm going to click on Azure Active Directory because that would be like the #1 thing that you would connect to it, right? So we can click on Azure Active Directory and right away, it helps us understand, what we can actually do, with Azure Active Directory. So I can scroll down here and then what I'll do is I'll open up the connector page. Right? So data types are sign-in logs, audit logs, kind of helps us there. When I open up the connector page, it tells us not only what it's going to be doing, what it's connected to, how many logs, how much data it's done, but it also gives you instructions and next steps. And this is why we like this, because even personal people can start. So if you're a small organization, you can start here. A bigger organization, you actually need somebody who can make sure we don't have a lot of false positives. Okay, but I just wanted to show you that there really quickly. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do here, the other thing too, and remember I mentioned that hospital, right? The biggest data threat that we're seeing right now, kind of not biggest, but underlying big one is IoT devices. So I'm going to just quickly show you, inside of this, this has actually been pre-created for you, right? So you can investigate all of the IoT devices. We can use AI and advanced analysis to combine the security data that's coming from those IoT devices, and we can track movement and monitor everything from like IoT deployments. And simply, we can basically, show you over here. You have Azure Defender for IoT, right? So you just kind of have this. It's like another one of these really great connectors. I just want to show you. I know it's a little rudimentary, but hey, take a look at this. Pretty cool, right? I mean, Azure IoT connectors. All right. The next thing I want to talk to you about are these workbooks. So, when you're thinking about Sentinel, you're thinking about, oh my gosh, okay, I need maybe some help, right? Of kind of how to set it up. So they've created these workbooks that you can draw security insights with custom workbooks that have already been done for you. So there's a workbook gallery that we can get into, and there's a strong ecosystem built with Palo Alto, with Fortinet, with Checkpoint that you can actually, run through. So in this page, we've clicked on the actual workbooks, right? I can go ahead and I can scroll down here, right? And then what I could do is I can click into the Azure Active Directory sign-in logs, right? So this is kind of cool because these workbooks are used to organize and communicate data insights, right? They're out of the box solution, so we can easily implement this, right? And it helps us kind of find those important metrics and trends. So that's pretty cool. So let me just show you, if we go to the template, and this is how you would enable the template, you click on the actual template, And inside of the template, it tells us right here, this is how we can show you how the workbook analyzes user activities and provides instant insights and what can be drilled down for further analysis. And as you can see in here, we have sign-ins by location. Okay, interesting, right? And we also have the location signs by interesting, but then we have all the sign-ins there. So if we enable this workbook, holy Moses, now we can actually do the Azure AD sign-in logs. So that's cool. All right. I know I'm going to breeze through this one, but it's really more about showing functionality, right? All right, the next one is we're going to go down to configuration and we're going to talk a little bit about analytics here, right? So we want to click on analytics. And what analytics is going to do, there's ready to use templates for detection of attacks, surfacing common attack vectors. And they start with rule-based, right? Detections that work to aggregate suspicious progress to more advanced analytics, such as a class of machine learning. They're called fusion detections. Okay, these are fusion where it's just rule-based, but then we use ML and AI to actually make that happen, right? So within that scenario, as you can see in here, we actually have, some of these rule-based incident detections already kind of put through here that we can actually kind of look at a couple different. But what I want to do here is I want to show you some of the rule templates. If we click on that, right? Now, these are all the different rule templates that we actually have in place, such as teardrop, memory only dropper, right? It's scheduled, Microsoft 365 Defender, and these are the tactics. So you can go into, known Iridium IP, right? So Office 365 +7. These are the workbooks or the analytics that we can actually help you out with. Okay, so I just want to cover that. Next, I want to go into incidents, because this is really actually pretty cool. When I click into incidents, we can manage the full life cycle of an event and its associated alerts, right? We can also leverage capabilities such as being able to extract entities from graph connections, okay, to other entities, build a full view of that whole incident. So I'm going to show you some like lights out stuff. This is so cool. Okay, so when I'm in here, right? So we're going to progress a little bit more. This is using the machine learning stuff, right? So there's a 35 attack vectors that have been identified using the fusion system. So it's a combination of rules and AI, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on a specific incident, right? So that's going to be the activity from a Tor IP address. Okay, so we want to click into that. And then I want to click over here to the right to investigate. Now, what this pulls up is a super awesome graph, which basically says, hey, activity from an Tor IP address. Okay, it's went over to Peter Krebs, Yammer, but look at this. Let's take a look at this. We can drill down into the IP address, right? So if I click on that IP address, it's going to come up and it's going to tell me the related alerts. Well, I can drill down even further into this, and now it's going to show me log analytics based on what has happened. And inside of here, holy Moses, we're actually, and let me see if I can highlight this one. There you go. The activity from the Tor IP address, right? Holy smokes, that's pretty cool. We can also, look at what's going on up here. We can actually run them again to actually make sure that they actually work really great. So this is very, very interesting as far as, looking at the logs. Let me go ahead and get back to my breadcrumb here. Okay. The next thing I want to do here is then go into hunting because a lot of us want to understand hunting, right? So there's built-in hunting queries inside of this. You can create your own bookmarks, with these hunting queries. We can use notebooks. I'm going to show you that in a second to automate those investigations for you. And then we can use hunting live stream for interactive sessions, right? So let me go ahead and get in here. So now we're in the hunting area, right? And, let's say you're an investigator that wants to be proactive about looking for security threats, right? So the hunt and search query tool is pretty awesome with this. So we have these things included in here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to actually run displayed queries, right? So I'm going to click on run displayed queries. And as that's happening, it's running the actual query, right? So I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to look for my bookmarks. Okay. So I have this. So it's going to show you all of these queries and these results that just actually happened. We can run the query over there. But what if I want to click on my bookmarks? So I want to bookmark this, right? Maybe I want to bookmark these specific hunting queries, and I can go into bookmarks and I can actually check all of those out. Okay. I know I'm going through this fast, but man, this thing is awesome. So here you go. with that. So let me go ahead. I think the next one I want to talk to you about is the notebooks. And this is where I love, okay? So what Azure Sentinel does is it uses Jupyter notebooks. And if you've ever used Jupyter notebooks, they're really awesome because they give you predefined kind of click-throughs, right? They have coding. And what it's doing is it's adding machine learning algorithms to what you're doing. So there's a whole bunch of integrated Jupyter notebooks that are actually available for you, right? So if I just go ahead and show this, we're clicking on the notebooks. In here, you can actually see it says getting started with ML notebooks, entity exploration, IP address. These are all super awesome things that you can start implementing to create those fusion type of analytics, right? That combines the machine learning and AI all together. Okay. And I hope I'm not running over. I'm going to be like 2 minutes over time. Sorry, everyone here. With that, but I want to show you this super cool thing. I want to get into entity behavior. Okay. So we can actually look as a security operations staff, we can actually look at, we can identify compromised data, users and machines. Okay. So kind of, how it all works. I'm going to scroll over here. We can actually see some of the alerts that we actually have, right? We can actually to do that, right? And then I'm going to go to the entity behavior, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for an account here. Okay. So what happens is we're searching for a specific PC. So when I click on the PC, I can actually get into the PC and see what has happened with that PC. But check this one out. When I go to investigate, look at this. Boom. Okay. Now it's investigated all of the things and it's giving us the ability to hunt. So what we're going to do is there's a suspected skeleton key access right here. And I want to click on that. And what it's going to do, it's going to allow me to actually drill down into this and tell me what has actually happened with this skeleton key that has actually happened here, right? What's going on? We can get more information of it. But then you might ask, well, what if I want to get out of the device and I want to go into the account? Well, let me go ahead and go back. And I'm going to go ahead and get back into, we're going to redo this here. I'm actually going to put in her account here, right? So we've got a net. And I'm clicking on Anil demos. Now, instead of looking at the device, we're looking at the account. We're looking at how it's been accessed, who's been accessing, what's going on. And then on the right-hand side, these are all the insights that we're actually using for this super awesome incident report. Now, I will tell you this, and that's really what Azure Sentinel really is. If you take a the screaming fast explanation of that one, right? However, one of the best tools out there because it's cloud, it's all your physical endpoints, and we can manage it in one pane of glass. Super simple, giving you machine learning and all those kinds of types of algorithms. Just lights out.